I want you guys to really check in with yourself and really start to pay attention to the thoughts that you're thinking.
And think about the things that make you happy. Like, what makes you happy? Do you like it when your hair looks a certain way? Do you like it when you wear a certain color? You know, all those little things, little details in your life. You know, maybe you're really into shoes, and like your shoes, you make your outfit match your shoes.
Yes, and I will say that, and we're going to dive into that more. You know, self-care is an act of self-love. Journaling, taking a bath, listening to music that makes you happy, experimenting with fashion. That was actually a really big one for me that really helps me with my confidence, finding your own sense of style and learning to express yourself in all of these creative ways actually really helps you learn about yourself, learn what makes you feel confident, learn what makes you feel good, and that translates into a greater relationship of self-love with yourself. And all of those things matter. Another act of self-care is working through trauma, going to therapy. That is huge for anybody who is looking to improve their relationship with themselves. And, you know, seeking therapy, working through your traumas, figuring out, you know, what experiences in your life caused you to have the emotions that you're feeling today. Because there usually are experiences. Maybe someone said something to you one time, or you had an embarrassing moment, and that those things actually can stick with you. And it's so important to figure out how to unstick from those things that are not serving you, and to search within yourself with a professional, if that's available to you, or even a friend. I mean, obviously, the first choice would be a professional if that's something that, you know, you are able to do at this point in your life. But if you can't afford that yet, you know, talking to a friend, talking to a school counselor, speaking with somebody that is willing to listen, someone at church, you know, there usually are people within the community, someone that you can turn to, that you can look to for advice. So, and we'll be talking about that in another episode as well. Self-care is an act of self-love. And I want to share a story with you guys also, because self-image obviously is how you perceive yourself, is a huge part of self-love. When I was in high school at this time, when I really severely, I'd say probably from all my 4 years of high school were the most challenging, and really learning to love myself, which I feel like is probably
a common time that a lot of people are discovering themselves.
Yeah, a lot of people it's a common theme, I think, during that time in your life to figure out who you are, you know, and there's also additional challenges at that time of your life. Your hormones are changing, you
puberty.
know. Yeah, puberty, like, you know, you're trying to figure out where you fit in, what you like, what your dislikes are. Like, that is a time of really learning about yourself. Desiree and I, growing up in Malibu, I will say that Malibu, you know, you have a lot of gorgeous people. You have a lot of people from the industry. You know, we went to school with like Gigi Hadid, Bella Hadid. Gigi was in my class, and wonderful people, really sweet girls. And, you know, we went to school with Millie and Becky Russo from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. And they also did a remake of Legally Blonde, right? Like a continuation of Legally Blonde. Super sweet too. And you just like a lot of just like, you know, gorgeous people. And being in high school during this time where, you know, you are going through a lot of changes, you're trying to figure out who you are. I did notice that there was a lot of other people in our school that were also going through a similar thing. And when you're surrounded by incredibly beautiful people at that age, when you're not so sure of yourself, it can, and it did for me, you know, take a little bit of a hit on my self-esteem and wondering where I fit in on that scale of beauty standards. And very unfortunately, at that time in my life, I ended up having an eating disorder throughout a large majority of my high school years. And even though I think all body types are beautiful, in Malibu, for whatever reason, being very, very thin was kind of like the favorited physique type. And so unfortunately that led me down a path of an eating disorder, and that was really, really, really traumatic for me. And I, had body dysmorphia. I thought that I was way bigger than I was, and then my weight was fluctuated all over the place throughout my high school years, and just trying different diets, and that was really hard, And I realized looking back that comparison is the thief of joy, right?
Right.
So, sunset and a flower look nothing alike, but they are equally beautiful.
Yes.
And it can be easy, whether you're looking at someone like Gigi, who we went to school with, or a beautiful model online, to wonder where your worth fits in beauty-wise, in the typical standards of beauty, when you see people who are undeniably gorgeous. And when you see that, it can be difficult not to compare. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people nowadays really struggle with comparison, whether it's social media. Social media is a big one, because you have people who are filtered and photoshopped, and some people are just naturally gorgeous. Like, in general, it can be difficult not to compare. But what I learned at this stage in my life, and has really helped me with my self-image journey, is just understanding that comparison is the thief of joy, and that you don't need to look like someone else to be beautiful. You don't even need to look like the typical suggested standard of beauty to be beautiful. Being beautiful is just being uniquely you.
And the right person will come along and see you and think that you're beautiful just the way you are.
Exactly. And even if a person didn't come along, even if it was just you for the rest of your life and you didn't even meet a special someone, you are beautiful, because there is no one in the world exactly like you. You are 100% unique, beautiful, gorgeous creation. Something that really helped me get out of this place of doubt and self-critical behaviors was to take a step back and realize that I don't need to look like somebody else. I need to look like the best version of me. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want you guys to remember when you're going out in the world, when you're looking at social media, when you have, beautiful friends, that you don't need to look like someone else. You don't need to compare yourself to someone else. Only person you should ever be competing with is yourself.
Yes.
And also, take into realistic thoughts, which is not something I understood at that age. Looking at someone who's a model that's 5'10", I mean, I'm 5'2", Des is 5'3".
Yeah.
We're about the same height. And, it is not physically possible, no matter how petite I got, it would never be possible for my body type to look like somebody who was 5'10".
Right.
And that's okay, because someone who's 5'10" and someone who's 5'2" are equally beautiful, no matter where you fall on that scale of height. It's not about looking like someone else. It's what does the healthiest version of me look like? Mm-hmm. And when I shifted my mentality from I want to be, the skinniest, or I want to be this, or I want to be that, to how can I be the healthiest? What does the healthiest me look like? That changed everything.